Alabama's offense wasn't great, but should we be concerned about it going forward?
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. And Locked On Bama is a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is now the #1 sports podcast network. Hoorah. That's true. So thank you for being with us, and thank you for making us the #1 podcast sports network thing. You guys are the best. So, Jimmy, yesterday, the offense, I went and watched some of the game, watched some highlights, did some other things. It kind of was exactly what I remembered from the field. I mean, not on the field, but, from being at the game. There were some nice things. That deep pass, or I'd consider it maybe moderately deep, to Cuevas was, picture perfect. That's how an NFL quarterback would throw the ball. The deep ball that should have been a touchdown to Germie Bernard was not NFL-ish. It was more USL-affiliate. I don't know if that's a word. But again, and the running game still just not there, and it's not going to be there. So we took a question last night. Somebody said, "What do y'all think you can do about the running game?" Nothing. It's done. In fact, I noticed it again last night. I'd forgotten it when we did the live reaction show. We had a big third down. It's like a 3rd and 1. What do? Sort of bring Germie Bernard and bring him in a sweep and hand him the ball. Because, we can't trust a running back right now, and we can't trust our linemen.
Didn't he? I think he made the first down.
Again?
Didn't he make the first down?
Yeah, he made it. And here's the thing. He made it, and it was like all Germie Bernard. He should have, for all intents and purposes, been tackled behind the line of scrimmage. And he does get the first down.
Best running back.
No doubt about it.
I'm not kidding.
That's my point. And so I'm really ready to say, okay, I don't want to complain about the running game anymore, because now we know we're not good at this. You don't want to complain about a center, a 7'4" center. If Victor Wembanyama couldn't hit 3-pointers at a 70% clip, you're not supposed to complain about that, because he's not supposed to do that. Regular people can't do that. He might be able to. I don't know.
He might actually be able to do that.
He might be able to do it. That was a bad example. I don't care about Shaq's
free throw. The wife and Field of Dreams. The wife and Field of Dreams. She was terrible. But did she submarine the whole movie? No. Still an American classic. Still just classic. Didn't care for her character or the way she was. I think it almost ruined that movie.
She was the Jar Jar Binks of A Field of Dreams. So, yeah, that's what our running game right now is. The Jar Jar Binks of a very good franchise. And we're, we can complain about it all we want to, but we can't erase Jar Jar Binks. We're going to still have to we still got to hand the ball off to Jar Jar occasionally.
Well, I have an actual football point about the rushing attack I worked on for a little bit this morning before the show. All right. Alabama can't run the ball. If you're the fan that couldn't sleep last night because Alabama can't run the ball, and you threw your beer can at your TV screen or punched the lady in front of you at the game because you were so mad Alabama can't run the ball.
Lord.
If you're that angry, let me point out that Alabama is 14th in the league in rushing the football, which is terrible. We know this. They know this. It's terrible. They only rush the ball for 111 yards a game. Missouri more than doubles that. They average 230 yards a game with those really good backs, Ahmad Hardy and the other guy who's Jamal Roberts. Well, okay. Who wants to trade? Who wants to trade? Who wants to trade? Who wants to wake up Missouri today? If you punched a lady in the stadium because you're mad Alabama can't run the ball, do you want to wake up today and be Missouri? That's just what I'm saying. No, who's number 2? Okay, who's say? Okay, well that's just an outlier. Who's number 2? Arkansas. Arkansas is number 2 at running the ball. Y'all, who wants to trade? I'm just saying that running the ball is vitally important. We're Alabama. We run the ball. I get that. It's vitally important. Here's what's more important. Winning the games. That's more important than running the football. And Alabama is winning the games. In fact, and this is amazing to me, and I did verify this. I said it last night, but I verified it today. Only 10 teams have 0 or 1 loss. Only 10. Alabama's one of those 10. They've played the toughest schedule. Of all the 10 teams that are major contenders to win the national championship, Alabama has played the toughest schedule in the country. I think complaining about the run game is warranted. It needs to be worked on. The level of criticism or the vocality of the criticism is going too far in the sense that it's a problem, but the team is still 9-1 against the toughest schedule in the country amongst the contenders. It's the 6th toughest schedule overall.
I think a few things. Number one, I find it very concerning that you jumped to domestic violence.
Maybe it shows that maybe secretly I'm a little angry.
What if Victor Wembanyama hits the woman in front of her because Alabama didn't?
Victor Wembanyama could hit the woman 12 rows in front of him.
That is true. He hit her across the stadium.
He's got a wingspan. It's crazy.
By the way, shout out to Taylor Bowen with the 7'2" wingspan getting a shout out on the broadcast for the basketball game. So one other thing that jumped to my mind. I think you're right. I think people should be worried about the running game, but not this year. I mean, it's done this year. Nobody is going to run for 100 yards in the Alabama backfield. I wholeheartedly believe that, outside of potentially Eastern Illinois. Other than that, we ain't getting a 100-yard rusher, y'all. It ain't happening. Now, do I like that? Of course I don't. But I'm not going to be concerned with it because, as Jimmy said, we're 9-1 this year. We only won 9 games last year. So, I mean, we've already matched our win total. Now, where I think you can be concerned is like, hey, this is to me.
Technically, we're 8-1. But I think it's because I keep counting the Eastern Illinois thing as a win.
That's fair, and let's do that. I mean, we said we both screwed that up. I just rode your coattails to that erroneous stat.
Saban would murder me for assuming a win there, but I mean, we're going to win that game.
So what I'm saying is, to me, this is like if you go to a problem with somebody in HR and you say, look, this guy's doing this, and you can say, well, the HR guy may say, that is something to monitor. This is something to monitor for long term. This is not going to be, the HR guy's like, hey, we're towards the end of November. We've only got about a little over a month left in this year with 2 big holidays coming up. I'm not firing anybody yet. I'm going to wait and see how they improve. Maybe they have a New Year's resolution. Maybe something big happens. Maybe when EJ Crowell comes in, our running game woes are magically fixed. Maybe AK Deer learns to pick up blitzes more and he gets I'm not saying gets with the program because it sounds like he's not trying hard. I just don't think he's ready to play as much. People keep saying, well, I'd play AK Deer. Let me tell you something. Even on the time when Ty Simpson fumbled the ball where an LSU guy slapped out of his hand, I thought Jan Miller did a pretty good job of picking up the guy that actually did the ball slapping. Got to find a better way to say that. But so Jan Miller picked up that blitz and was holding his block. I thought Ty held it too long. Am I wrong? Would the football guy disagree with me?
No, I think that sack wise and in a couple plays this year where even Ty's been hit and dropped the ball, I think Ty held on to the ball too long. I think it's as much on Ty as anyone. I do think AK Deer is a talented kid, and I won't be surprised if he's a start running back next year. I won't be surprised at that at all. But if anyone thinks out there that the solution to Alabama's run game, like the solution to it all, is sitting there on the bench and the coaches know it, but they're not putting him in because he's a freshman, that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. They're out there every day. They're playing other freshmen. Dijon Lee supplanted a returning starter that some people considered a high-round NFL pick, and they played a true freshman in front of him. So it's not like they won't play the freshman. They're at practice every day. They see it every day. They do have to make the young players learn the importance of the small things. But I don't believe for a single second that they've seen things at practice that lead them to know AK Deer is a more productive, better player than these other guys, but they're just not playing him because ... That's just not true. He's just not just simply not ready to play. As crazy as it sounds, Ty Simpson wasn't ready to play in year 1 and year 2, and arguably not even in year 3. He wasn't ready to play then. He is now. At some point, AK Deers will be ready to play. And I think he's going to be great. And I think EJ Crowell may show up ready to play. That's very possible for a kid with his talent. So we'll see. But I'm with Luke totally. I think we're lock, stock, and step and barrel here. It's too late in the season. We're not going to magically, oh my gosh, Alabama rushed for 260 yards against Oklahoma. No. We are what we are at this point.
I think you could, when you play Alabama, 2 things. You're probably going to lose, and your defensive rushing yards allowed per game will decrease. Those are 2 things that are going to happen to you after the game. Let's talk a little Wayfair now. The holiday season is right around the corner, and that means it's time to get your home ready. Whether you need more seating for guests, cozy new linens, or fun serveware, holiday hosting, Wayfair's Black Friday sale is here to help you make your space shine. And all the best part here, you don't have to wait. You don't have to. Wayfair's Black Friday deals are happening all month long. It's like a month of Fridays. With up to 70% off everything from sofas to spatulas. I need a cheap spatula. Look, I recently upgraded my kitchen, and we got some stuff on Wayfair, and I love it. Don't miss out on early Black Friday deals. Head to wayfair.com now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday sale for up to 70% off. That's WAYFAIR.com. The sale does end December 7th. So get on it. I want to thank you every day for being here every day, and thank you newbies for being here today. And thanks everybody for making us your first listen every single day. You are the best. I've been trying to say that for years and years. We're changing the opening. And so there we go. So I'm going to try to sneak that in all the time.
It's a cool thing that Locked On is, and in fact, Locked On Network nationally, the #1 sports podcast network in the U.S. That's official and verified by numbers. And in fact, Luke and I are the #1 Alabama football, most listened to, most watched podcast in the Alabama football sports market. So a lot of #1s. Except for Alabama's rushing offense, not #1.
Not #1.
In fact,
#1 in not getting enough yards. But
it's interesting. Alabama's offense, scoring offense in the league, where Alabama ranks 8th. Okay, you're like, well, scoring, sometimes that's maybe not indicative. Okay, how about total yards? Where's Alabama rank 1 through 16? 8th. And there's 16 teams in the league. I think Alabama is exactly that. They're exactly a middle offense. They're the exact middle of the SEC as an offense, where some people might go, that's not good enough. Well, consider that the SEC is the most dominant league in this sport by far. And secondly, you can win a championship when your offense is 8 if your defense is better than that. Here's the good news. It is.
Yeah, and the other thing, I saw you back up somebody's tweet. I think it was Travis Ryer's tweet that he said, look, we've played like the #1, #3, and #4 or something rushing offenses, and switching over to the defense, we've held them below their averages, and we've done really well with it. So while we can all be upset, rushing ain't great, we're stopping the run. So, and here's the thing. When you can't rush, but you can stop the run, I like my chances in terms of getting more points, because I know my quarterback's pretty good. I know my receivers are pretty good. So, and my tight ends are good. So, yeah, I feel like we're going to win games that way.
Yeah, we are. And I think we're going to continue to win to a degree, although the teams we're playing are really good. I just hate that this hypothetical opponent thing that, we beat LSU, but we're not going to beat so-and-so. Are we going to keep doing that all the way through the playoffs? And then you win the championship game, you beat Ohio State in the championship game. Is someone going to say, but you wouldn't beat the Lions playing like that?
I mean, that is so true.
Does winning, at what point does winning the games matter? I would think it matters now, but.
Well, and also, this was a game last year I think we lose. Again, nobody's saying we played great. We didn't play well, but we didn't play well and we won.
We didn't play well on offense. I think the defense.
We didn't play well on offense. Yeah, that's a much better way to
play really well.
Now, speaking of playing well on defense, really quickly.
Yep.
Yesterday, I'm at the Craneworks tent in the quad, and I run into none other than Antonio London. And so there he is. He still looks fantastic. But I said to him, my buddy who owns Craneworks said, "Hey, this is Antonio London." I said, "Tullahoma, Tennessee." He goes, "Whoa." And I was like, "I'll never forget it. I remember when we signed you. You're my favorite Alabama player that's named after an English city of all time." So I didn't say that, but that would have been cool.
He was number 55. Big time recruit. Big time recruit. I mean, he was sort of a 5-star before 5 stars existed.
He was also he's a trivia answer. Who was offsides when George Teague stripped the ball from Lamar Thomas?
Nice. Did you bring that up?
No, I didn't. I wish I had. I just thought of it. I swear.
I'm kind of glad you didn't. Like, I hate to meet like a former Alabama player and go, "Oh man, you're one of my favorite players. Remember when you committed that penalty?" That's
And then
that's still a significant play in Alabama history, to say the least. Even though people say, "Oh, if only if he wasn't offsides." Well,
we did a painting on it. I mean,
it made it a free play for them. If Teague doesn't strip the ball, it's a Miami touchdown.
Correct. And by the way, yesterday I saw, I think I said it on the live broadcast. Maybe everybody didn't catch that. Will Howard, not that one, another one who's a deacon at Alabama. Saw Chris. Saw a guy named Bragg from down in Mobile and his son Charles, who couldn't be more polite. I was like blown away how polite that kid was.
My friend named Bragg Rockwell from Fairhope, who played football at Alabama, was a teammate of Antonio London's. There's your tie-in.
There's my 6 degrees of separation. This is Marley. I told you I met her last night. She said, "Me and my dad watch you all the time, and she's pretty as a speckled puppy. Couldn't be any nicer." And then Marshall, also saw Marshall. And he's already responded to the thing we did last night and said, "Hey, it was nice to meet you." He said, "A lot of beers were flowing, but I think I remember it." I was like, "You do," and I made a note. So
I met Logan in the stadium, and it could have been nicer. It says he watches. We took a picture, and it says he watches every day for 3 years. Appreciate it. All 3 years. Thanks for all 3 of the years. Not
all 3 years. Tell you something else I saw on the replay. Because LSU fans, and they're not immune to this. They do this. Everybody blames the officials. How can they not call this flag? How can they not call that flag? It went both ways pretty badly. There was one particular play where Dijon Lee, to me, threw a dude and tackled him sort of way out of bounds, or at least he was already out of bounds, and then sort of spun him around. I would have called a flag. I'm going to be honest here. If there's an LSU fan watching it saying y'all do nothing but make whatever, I'm telling you, I would have thrown a flag there. I don't think it makes a difference, because I'm going to tell you something. Y'all were never really a super threat to score a touchdown. I mean, yeah, you got inside our 10, I think, once, but we immediately pushed you back. So yeah, I'm not super. I'm saying I'm okay saying that should have been a flag. And if I were LSU coach, I'd send that Dolphins and say this should be a flag, and let's all make the refs better.
Yeah, the officiating, as we say most weeks here, and we do complain because we're Alabama homers, but as we say most weeks, the officials get it wrong. They're not biased for one team or another. It's not one team that always benefits while another team always gets hosed. Everybody takes turns getting hosed. And sure, there's bad calls that benefit Alabama all the time, just like there's bad calls that hurt Alabama.
So was there anybody else on defense? London Simmons, we didn't bring him up enough. I noticed him up. He didn't have any highlight. Like I watched some of the game, and then I watched
He recovered one of the fumbles.
He did recover the fumble that the second fumble that Yanzi Pierre caused.
Yep.
So the other thing was I heard a lot of people talking about him. Well, I've watched some of the game. I hadn't had a lot of time between when I went to bed and now, but and then I also watched
2 hours ago.
Yeah, I also watched the CBS highlight thing, and I didn't see London Simmons do much there, but I can't wait to watch the whole game, because a lot of Alabama people are like, London Simmons is just, he's doing a lot of good things. So shout out to London Simmons. You're getting noticed, dude. Your stat sheet may not be stacked, but you're getting noticed.
That's a position that's just never going to be stat friendly. Even when Terrence Cody was a unanimous All-American nose guard for Alabama in 2008, I think his season stats were 26 tackles and a sack, and that's it. And he was a unanimous first-team All-American because his impact on the game was completely clear to whoever watched it, because he just ended the very notion anyone was even going to try to attack the A gap because he owned both A gaps. London Simmons is a really good player, probably a full-time starter next year. Moving on, he'll probably replace Tim Keenan as the primary nose guard. And I think for a freshman, he's been amazing, particularly since if you lined up, Luke, last year's signing class, and you lined them all up from highest recruited to lowest recruited, London's either at the bottom of the list or very close to the bottom of the list. And he ends up not only playing as a freshman, but playing a key role. He's a number 2. He plays with the ones every week. What he's done at Alabama is remarkable. And shout out to the staff for another great evaluation of a kid like Alatsier Brooks, who was a 3-star type. London Simmons, a 3-star type. It doesn't matter how many stars. What matters is the evaluation. I mean, London Simmons is playing like you would expect a 5-star. I mean, a true freshman who shows up and is immediately one of the best players in his room the day he shows up. That's kind of a 5-star thing, right? Well, he's a 3-star, but the staff recognized him as a top prospect and a guy that could be good. And I think his career has got a nice path laid out for him right now.
We'll talk about this more tomorrow as more reports come in, but the early thinking from some of these recruiting visits is it was a wow moment. In fact, I've read some early reports, and a couple of the families have said, man, that atmosphere was incredible. And all I can say is, hey, I'm glad you like that. We got better than that. I'm going to say it again. I thought at the beginning of the game, I thought the crowd was going to be out of bounds. I thought we were going to be like, oh, this is Tennessee level, like what we did earlier this year. I really think when we got stopped on 4th down with Jim and the Wildcat, I think it sort of took the air out of us for a little while. You know, it seemed to.
DeBoer's not afraid to go for it on those 4th downs at midfield.
And I like that.
Game. I sort of like it. I just wish we'd be more successful because when we didn't make it, I had flashbacks to Michigan in the bowl game. You know, when they went for it early at midfield, same scenario, didn't make it. Not only did Michigan take advantage, then that rainstorm from hell came, and Alabama was backed up on its side of the field during the entirety of that rainstorm. And it really changed the outcome of the game, in my opinion. But
to go for it, don't want to do it. I mean, does anybody else feel this way? I don't want to use a running back on 4th and 1 anymore. I don't want to. We are a passing team. Let's pass it.
Almost feel like the crispy plays with Proctor should be the go-to on 4th and 1 in the sense that I'll at least have some level of confidence. They finally used it as a decoy, and it worked. Nice gain on the Caden Proctor as a decoy on the crispy play. Once again, every time we've used it, it's worked, even though we've done something different with it every time. But it has worked. It worked again. This time it was just as a decoy, but that's still using it. And I say we see it again against Oklahoma next week. And by the way, I think the crowd next week is going to be fantastic because it's such a huge game with massive implications. For Oklahoma, it's making the playoff. For Alabama, it's winning the SEC, getting to Atlanta to win the SEC. Both teams playing for a lot next Saturday. It's sort of the last major home game. The Eastern Illinois game will simply be a senior day celebration. I mean, I believe the main thing that will happen on Eastern Illinois is celebrating the seniors because I think we know how the game will go. But I think that's why next Saturday will be huge because it's sort of the last one. And so many implications. Boy, great weekend of games next week. Great weekend of games. College football is going to be phenomenal next Saturday.
I know that Caden Proctor's catch against Georgia counted as a run because we threw it behind the line of scrimmage. But let's just tend like it was an actual reception, which was what everybody thought for a while until it was determined I was behind the line of scrimmage. I wonder if any team in college football history has ever had 3 offensive linemen make catches in a game. Now, 2 of them were completely accidental, but Wilkin Formby had more receiving yards than Daniel Hill did last night. If you want to know another little piece of trivia, I mean, not that game would come up very much, but you know what I mean. FanDuel. Yep. The NBA is back. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay, yo, for a shot at bigger payouts. It just keeps getting more exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers 300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Come on now. Come on. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of, tell them, Jimmy.
The NBA.
Correct. Let's take a little look around the SEC now. I thought it was kind of funny. A Georgia fan, and Georgia fans love to tweet after a close Bama win of any description. Even though they've had many themselves.
Georgia watches us every week. They're I think that's Georgia fans watch them, and then they want to know what Alabama's doing.
And again, I'm not judging.
Fine.
I hate watch Auburn as much as any Auburn fan love watches Auburn. I do. So I get that. I'm not judging. What I'm saying, though, is to take to social media, as one particular Georgia fan did. I'm not going to say his name. And he said, boy, it just boggles my mind we lost to this Alabama team. I can't decide if I want to just win out and get a bye or actually go to the SEC championship game with a chance to potentially lose and not get the bye so that we can play Alabama again. I was thinking, sir, this is a Wendy's, and you have lost 10 of your last 11 to us. Quit asking to play us. You are a great program. Georgia's great. Georgia's fantastic. They're a great program that I respect. But their fans don't seem to understand that the losses that have piled up against us count. And we're just asking for respect back.
And Georgia's playing Alabama next year on the schedule. We're on the schedule. There'll be another Alabama-Georgia game. And if we play Georgia, play Georgia. Hey, this playoff's going to be tough. I've been really looking at the top 10 teams, the teams with 0 losses and 1 loss. That's the top 10 to me. I don't want to play anybody. I mean, they all look really good to me, and it's going to be a lot of good football games. How about this curiosity? Bill Connolly, who I do highly respect, Missouri guy, by the way, SEC guy.
Yeah.
Bill Connolly's SP Plus, which is really highly respected in the industry and interesting, and it gives me a little pause. Bill Connolly's SP Plus this morning has Alabama the 11th best team. And behind Georgia, I swear we played them and beat them, but we're behind Georgia and behind Oklahoma. So, hey, I think we'll find out a lot about SP Plus this upcoming weekend. I mean, and hey, I'm a Bill Connolly fan. I'm not taking a shot at him. I'm like, wow, I take it seriously enough for it to be a little concerning. But hey, when you're like, well, Oklahoma's better than Alabama, and that seems impossible. Well, wait till the line comes out today. I think the line is going to be fairly.
It's 6.5 on FanDuel.
I was going to guess 5.5, 6.
6.5. Yeah.
That's
now.
one score. That's a 1-score game.
Let me say this. Another thing I wanted to throw out there, and I didn't want to throw it out there, but I got it. Danny Cannell tweets his DK top 12, and I should say as if anybody gives a flip, but of course I'm sitting here giving a flip, and that's why social media is awesome, because the moment you say, I don't care what he thinks, you go back and read more of that crap. But here's his top 6. I'll just give you his top 6. Ohio State 1, fine. Indiana 2, again, fine, even though they struggled with a bad Penn State team. A&M 3, fine.
Sure.
Oregon 4, Bama 5. I'm going to need some explanation on that, Danny. I'm going to need you to tell me what Oregon has done that makes you think they should be above Alabama. Not that it matters, because your vote doesn't matter. But I would like to know, if you're going to step out on a limb like that and pretend to be an analyst, tell me how you get away with that, because Oregon's best win now is that win at Iowa.
And they were fortunate to win.
Extraordinarily fortunate.
I watched a lot of the end of that, and they were very fortunate to win. And Dante Moore, who is fantastic, he made a great throw to get Oregon in position to win the game at the end. Shout out to him for that phenomenal throw. But no, it's so frustrating to me, Luke, that Oregon struggles to win against an Iowa team that might be top 25. I know they're ranked. I know where they're ranked. And I know I'm an SEC homer. But is Iowa really better than LSU? I would argue at best they're the same. And I really think LSU's better. I think LSU's got more dudes and is a better team. And if Iowa played at LSU and LSU played at LSU's game, LSU would win. I really believe that. But how Oregon going on the road and beating Iowa, even though it was close, is proof that Oregon's good. And Alabama beating LSU by 11 at home is indicative that Alabama's overrated. It's so frustrating. We dealt with this all during the Saban era. Maybe we should take it as a compliment that this is coming back, that now no one thinks Alabama's good unless you win by 28.
We'll look around the SEC really quickly here because I said I'd do it. The Auburn Vanderbilt game was a ton of fun. And the one, I'll say this, Cam Coleman is incredible. He's awesome. Definitely underutilized, really good player. I hope he goes in the portal. I don't know if he will. I hope he does. I hope he comes to us, but I don't think he will. And if he goes somewhere else, so be it. But I'm just saying I don't want him at Auburn because he's really, really good. Hugh Freeze ought to give some money back. I mean, I really believe now the only answer is Hugh Freeze was trying to get fired. To not throw it to these guys, and again, it's like what exactly are you doing? I mean, it made no sense. Vanderbilt, nice win. Diego Pavia, the legend grows. What a great place. It's one thing to be a legend in New York, and that's fine, but there'll always be some detractors, like somebody who always want to take you down in New York or Chicago or LA or whatever. But in Nashville, like a great, nice super city in the South that's still kind of a melting pot, but Southern enough and not too big, Diego Pavia he's a hero forever. He could lose to these next two teams. I think they got Kentucky and Tennessee. He's a hero forever. And I'll tell you something. I think they're going to beat Kentucky and Tennessee.
You know what Diego Pavia and George Strait have in common? Neither one of them should ever be charged to drink beer on Broadway.
Both of them made Amarillo by morning. Did George Strait sing that?
I'm sure. Hey, if Diego Pavia had to get to Amarillo by morning, he'd make it.
Somebody take him. I might take him because I thoroughly enjoyed the jump pass win. It just the history of the jump pass where Kieran Johnson throws one against us in the 2017 Iron Bowl, and now Auburn loses via jump pass. Chef's kiss to Vanderbilt. Appreciate it.
I think Vanderbilt. I'm not pulling for Vanderbilt, by the way, because actually, in all actuality, the Vanderbilt story and the Pavia thing sort of wears on me a little bit. But I think Vanderbilt loses in Knoxville, and that's what ends their playoff hopes. Finally,
I think Tennessee may be starting to mail it in by that time. Is what the thing is. That's what I think.
Could be. Hey, if Vanderbilt finishes 10-2, they have a really good case, no doubt about it.
But we'll start getting ready for next week. And man, what a week. Purdue on Thursday, wow. Oklahoma on Saturday. It's going to be something awesome. Can't wait. And until tomorrow, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.